What are the rules for Python indentation? Have you ever wondered why indentation is so important in Python programming? Well, today we are going to break down the rules of Python indentation and why it matters. Unlike many programming languages, Python uses indentation to define the structure of your code. This means that how you space your lines can affect how your program runs. First off, indentation is required to define blocks of code. This includes the code inside loops, conditionals, functions, or classes. If you want to show that certain lines belong together, you need to indent them. The first line of your code cannot be indented. Indentation starts from the second line when you begin a block. Now let's talk about how much to indent. You can use any number of spaces, but it is best to stick to for spaces per indentation level. This is the standard and recommended style in Python. Consistency is key here. You must use the same number of spaces for all lines within a block. If you mix different indentation levels, you will run into errors. Another important point is to prefer spaces over tabs for indentation. Mixing tabs and spaces can lead to confusion and errors, so it is best to choose one method and stick with it. When you introduce a new block, such as after an if statement or a loop, the next lines must be indented more than the previous line. This shows that those lines belong to that new block. When the block ends, you return to the previous indentation level. This signals that you are done with that block of code. For lines that continue over multiple lines, you can adjust the indentation to align with the opening delimiter or use a hanging indent style. This is optional and mainly for readability. Let's look at a practical example. If you have an if statement like this, if 10 is greater than 5, you would write it as follows. If 10 is greater than 5. Print, this is true. Print, both lines are indented equally. Print, this line is not indented and outside the if block. If you skip indentation or are inconsistent, Python will raise an indentation error or syntax error. Therefore, using consistent for spaces per indentation level and avoiding mixing tabs and spaces is essential for clear and error-free code. Following these rules is a fundamental part of Python syntax and is necessary for writing valid Python programs.